Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play King's Quest VI with a sound canvas. So, we just talked to the druids and found out about the realm of the dead. So, apparently we need to tame a black winged horse named Nightmare. Now, if you look in the inventory, look in the Book of Magic Spells, we have a Charming a Creature of the Night spell. We need one skull full of hot oak embers, a bit of sulfur or brimstone, and one strand of a pure-hearted maiden's hair. Well, we have two of those. Well, we have one of those things, and we have another of those things right at this location. Well, let's start with this. We need to add the hair, brimstone. Okay, yeah. So, I'm going to take the skull, scoop up an ember.
Alexander scoops up some of the red-hot embers in the ancient human skull.
Now we need to go quickly before it cools down. And guess what?
Alexander...
Yes, here.
Alexander feels it.
Here, once again. What do you know of that smells like sulfur? Well, one thing is rotten eggs.
Your Highness may as well spend her royal time contemplating something else. The lump of coal shall be sent to the Castle of the Crown under my name, and that's all there is to it.
No, it shan't.
Yes, it shall.
If the coal is sent in your name, I shall royally decree a ban on all red on this isle.
You do, and I shall royally decree that white shall be henceforth used for all mopping up of cabbage stew.
You wouldn't dare!
Oh, wouldn't I?
Oh, it's you! Have you thought of any more of those brilliant ideas of yours?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, we have another lump of coal.
I found the two of you another lump of coal, so that you can stop fighting over the one you have.
Oh, let me see! A lump of coal! And what a beauty it is, too! Oh, marvelous! Now we can stop fighting, sister. Your Highness can just keep the old lump of coal, and I'll take this new one.
Quite right. That settles everything.
As a token of our endless esteem and royal favor, please accept this magnificent and truly incredible spoiled egg.
Thanks.
Let me see that lump of coal, Your Highness.
It is a beauty, isn't it?
Why, it's bigger than my lump of coal. Let me have it immediately.
Over my dead body, Your Highness. It's my lump of coal, and it is indeed larger and much grander. Just look at that sheen.
I demand you exchange with me immediately.
Yeah, can't really completely solve their problem, but we got what we needed. And I better get on with this.
Alexander cracks the spoiled egg and dumps it into the skull containing the embers. The spoiled egg hisses as it makes contact with the hot embers. Zounds, the steam! Phew, the smell of sulfur!
And we have a strand of a pure-hearted maiden's hair.
Alexander puts the strand of hair into the skull containing the embers and the spoiled egg.
And now we have, well, just one last thing to do. We have to find Nightmare. If you recall, the druids said that Nightmare likes to feed on noxious plants. Well, where have we seen a noxious plant? Beyond the Isle of Sacred Mountain.
Alexander.
Now all we have to do is climb up here. Fortunately, we don't have to go through all of those screens. Because it just shortcuts us.
Alexander arrives at the top of the cliffs, somewhat winded after his long but uneventful climb.
And look.
A mighty winged horse, the color of midnight, is feeding from the nightshade bush. The creature must be Nightmare, the one the druids spoke about.
Let's save here. What if we try talking to her?
Calm down, girl.
Nightmare ignores Alexander.
Huh. Okay, well, never tried that before. Now let's cast our spell.
Alexander solemnly speaks the incantation over the skull.
Creature of night, to me succumb. Fire and brimstone leave thee numb. Purity bind thee like a chain, to do whate'er I now ordain.
Nightmare flares her nostrils at the scent of the fire and brimstone.
That's it! Come on! I need passage to your homeland, fiery one.
Unable to resist the power of the enchanted smell, Nightmare approaches Alexander. Her eyes appear glassy and sightless. In her hypnotized state, she is unaware of the humans so close to her flank, or of anything at all except that marvelous smell.
Now ride!
Nightmare deposits Alexander on a strange, cold world. And some of the inhabitants don't look too friendly.
And now we are in a very dangerous place. Including gameplay-wise. This is the old Sierra is coming back somewhat in this place, as you'll see. Right here.
Uh-oh. One of the wandering ghouls brushes up against Alexander. The touch of the putrid flesh dissolves the living matter like acid.
tickets. Oh, next.
Alexander's mother always told him to avoid bad ghouls.
Okay, yeah. So, just by not moving, you can die here. So, yeah. Pretty nasty.
Restless spirits are bound to the surface of the underworld. Chained by earthly cares, they are unable to go below. These two spirits wander together. The spirit of a beautiful and noble-looking woman floats silently alongside that of a desperate-looking man.
I'll check them shortly, but I forgot to examine the...
Alexander is standing on the surface of the realm of the dead. The barren, surreal landscape is cold and gray. Twisted shapes loom on the horizon. The surface is haunted by the ghoulish shapes of the undead and by the chained, tormented spirits of mortals unable to rest in peace.
These look a lot like Egyptian pyramids.
Alexander is the surface is...
It doesn't say anything about them. Okay, no. Stay away from me.
The ghoulish, animated bodies of the undead roam the haunted landscape.
Let's, and wait for these ghouls to go away. And then talk.
Who are you, grieving spirits?
I am Queen Ilaria of the land of the Green Isles.
What do you know?
And this beloved spirit is my husband, King Caliphan. We were murdered in our beds by our trusted vizier. Like a viper, he snuck in during the night and stabbed us in our sleep. Now my husband's soul is broken, and he will not speak.
Then you are the ones I seek. Are you not the parents of Princess Cassima?
Our daughter! Have you news of the princess?
I know that she is alive and safely back in her kingdom after being rescued from Mordak. But I'm afraid I have not personally seen her. Alhazred is keeping her in her room in mourning for you.
I am glad to hear of her return, but she will not be safe alone with that devil. Oh, that we could be there to protect her.
Cassima, how I fail thee.
My poor husband will never rest while our murder goes unavenged and our daughter is in danger.
I came to take you back with me. Your people are still loyal to you. They need to know about the Vizier. Cassima needs you too.
But this is the realm of the dead. We cannot leave it. Nor, for that matter, can you. The only one who might be able to return us all to the land of the living is the Lord of the Dead. But he would never help us. He has no mercy.
I might be able to convince him. I must try.
Then take this. It is my ticket to the underworld. There you will find the Lord of the Dead. I cannot use the ticket as long as I'm chained here. And if we cannot be avenged, I will never be unchained.
Thank you. Perhaps it will save us all.
Be careful, young man. If you can ease my husband's torment and help our daughter, we will be most grateful.
I will do my best. Goodbye, Queen Ilaria.
Okay, so, let's move on. Hopefully...
Some natural instinct draws... The surface of the realm of the dead feels even more oppressive here. A path leads to an ominous-looking skull that looms in the distance. The surface is haunted by the ghoulish shapes of the undead and by the chained, tormented spirits of mortals unable to rest in peace.
Ollie, where is my little boy? Ollie!
Yeah, we'll talk to her in a second.
The otherwise dark sky is faintly illuminated by a full moon. Alexander has the feeling that it is always nighttime in this realm. He cannot imagine the light of day touching anything in this dreary place. The luminous moon casts a glow over the strange, dark landscape.
Ollie.
Yeah.
The surface of the the otherwise dark sky, the surface.
Okay. I clicked on something and got a different narration, but I don't know exactly what I clicked on. No, stay away. Alright.
The spirit of a woman hangs like a puff of smoke in the air. She is weeping and appears to be very distressed about something.
Why do you not rest, sad spirit?
Rest? I cannot rest. My son is lost.
Lost? You mean in this realm?
No. His spirit is stuck in the land of the living, probably looking for me. But I cannot leave to go show him the way. My poor Ali.
Is there anything I can do?
Take this handkerchief. If you get back to the land of the living and find him, tell him that his mother is waiting for him here. By this kiss, he'll be able to find his way to the realm of the dead.
I'll do my best to find him.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my Ali.
The ghostly ticket reads,
No, not the ticket. What am I doing?
Alexander is carrying the mother ghost's translucent handkerchief. Touching the ghost handkerchief gives Alexander a strong mental impression of the mother ghost worriedly searching for her lost son.
Interesting. Anyway, yeah, Sierra is rather mean at this point, although it's not really inappropriate considering the setting. There are a number of points of no return, as we'll see shortly, and there are various items that we need to pick up. And if we don't pick them up, then we are screwed. Well, that was weird. He was walking backward down the path. Okay, let's go.
The skeleton to the left of the path hands something to the spirits that approach the underworld entrance.
Ticket, please. Next.
Well, this is the first time we've been here alive. Never thought you'd see this. Never thought we'd actually come here while alive, did you?
Alexander is standing at the entrance to the underworld. The entrance is a huge tendon-covered skull. The skull's mouth is the doorway to whatever lies below. Two solemn skeletons admit the spirits who seem to be drawn, trance-like, to enter the skull.
Let's see.
A strange skeleton with a long, horse-like head and ceremonial armor stands at the base of the path to the underworld. He watches over new arrivals with a discerning eye, handing tickets to the spirits desiring admittance. A large bone keyring hangs from his waist.
Yeah, interesting.
A uniformed skeleton stands guard at the entrance to the underworld. He takes something from the passing spirits and then waves them on into the underworld.
There's quite a bureaucracy here. They have one guy to hand out tickets and another to accept them.
Might I get one of those tickets?
You don't need a ticket. You already
The
have one.
skeleton with the tickets must not approve of Alexander's less than ghostly looks. He refuses to give him a pass.
And this one?
I must see the Lord of the Dead. Please let me pass.
Tickets only.
The skeleton at the door seems quite determined.
More examining.
Alexander is standing at the entrance to the underworld. The entrance is a huge, looming ominously at the end of the path. A hideous, skull-shaped formation provides an entrance to the underworld below. Despite his terror, Alexander still feels drawn to its tendon-bound maw.
What is this?
A group of large bones form an interesting arrangement to the right of the path. Two smaller bones are propped up on the ground near the larger group.
Alright, there's something I want to try here.
Alexander approaches the entrance to the underworld.
Ticket, please.
Okay. Drew a rather long sword.
Alexander approaches the...
Ticket.
Nope. Okay, well, anyway, what we need to do is, mess with this.
Alexander picks up the two bones on the ground. Now, what do these bones remind him of?
Ah, yes. Now I remember.
The skeletons are overcome with the musical call of the bones. They begin to jiggle, then to dance. Alexander finishes his tune, and the skeletons resume their posts. Despite their frolic, they don't seem any friendlier.
Uh-huh. Well, you seem to have lost your key there.
Alexander picks up the skeleton key.
Something else I want to try. Save over that. Very foolish, but,
Using that on the hideous skull would be pointless.
no.
Alexander could return the bony key, but he might find it useful. Besides, the skeleton has plenty more bones where that came from.
Okay, well, let's do what we need to do.
I have a ticket.
Go on. Next.
Alexander is standing inside the underworld. Organic walls form an oppressive passageway from which a spiraling path emerges and descends into the darkness. Far below, the surface of a black, glassy river eerily reflects the glow of flickering torches. Extending from the walls are outgrowths spouting flickering flames. The eerie torches dimly light the passages of the underworld. A strange path grown up from the depths of the river and out from the surrounding walls spirals down into the underworld. An ebony mass of liquid flows below the path. It must be the river Styx. Apparently, Alexander's not the only one who's curious about the body on the path. A knight's remains lie abandoned on the path. The knight, like Alexander, must have been alive when he entered the underworld, but for some reason he never reached his destination. Alexander wonders if this is the knight the Druid spoke of. The knight is wearing an old, tattered ribbon. It must have once meant much to him as a sign of his lady's favor.
Can we pick it up?
The ribbon is so old it would crumble at Alexander's touch.
Nope.
The knight is wearing one black gauntlet. There appears to be some writing on the gauntlet, but Alexander can't quite make out what it says.
Let's get a closer look.
Alexander takes the knight's black gauntlet and examines the writing on it. Flesh may cross the portal and seek its master, death. Flesh may go where death is trod, and challenge, like Scheherazade, he who reigns beneath the sod, to spare a mortal's breath. Zounds, that sounds serious.
Okay, more saving. Now let's go.
Alexander can't reach the river from here.
No.
Alexander slips off the path and plunges into the river Styx.
Whoops.
As soon as the water touches his skin, Alexander's mind and body go numb. He sinks like a lifeless stone.
Tickets. Oh. Next.
Hey, what a fix. Bathing in the river Styx.
I like that. Kind of like that one. Yeah, you have to be careful. Sierra, I thought you were, you had, done away with, things like that. Let's, make sure we...
Alexander stands on the banks of the river Styx. The black river is as still as a mirror and gives off a penetrating cold. Charon, the ferryman, and his eerie ship wait on the shore to shepherd souls across the river.
Let's save some more. I'm not sure that's how they spelled it, but,
Extending from the wall,
okay, yeah, we know.
Charon stands in his boat, eternal ferryman of the dead. Alexander can't quite make out what's under Charon's cowl, and he's not sure he would want to.
I must see the Lord of the Dead. Please, let me ride across the river Styx on the ferry.
Charon apparently has rules as strict as those of the skeletons at the underworld's entrance. Alexander is not getting on that boat until he gives Charon the appropriate fare.
Are you sure about that? No?
The spirits of the newly deceased make their final journey into the depths of the underworld. Charon's boat is an unearthly vessel. It bears a huge skeletal prow for slicing through the river Styx.
How appropriate.
The river Styx is an ebony mass of liquid, resembling black tar or melted black glass. Despite its incredible stillness, the river seems to have a life of its own.
Interesting. Now, if we spend too long here... I think it's based on the length of time, I'm not sure.
Charon will determine whether and when Alexander will board the boat. Alexander can't push his way past Charon. He'll have to convince the ferryman to let him board.
Wait! I must get across the river.
Apparently, Charon doesn't intend to let travelers without fare loiter on the shores of his river.
Tickets only. Next.
Hey, that's not fair.
Okay, yeah, so, you're given a good amount of time, but, can't wait too long. Okay, another thing, if you recall, in the
The realm
spell
of the
book...
dead is a very dangerous place.
Okay, never mind, I'll just tell you. If you recall the, magic paint spell, one of the ingredients is, a bit of the river Styx. And, well, here we are. And this is the only place we can get to it.
Alexander scoops a little of the river Styx into the teacup with the swamp ooze, being careful not to get any of the black water on his skin.
And now what we need to do is give these 2 coins to Charon.
Will these coins do as fare for passage?
Charon accepts the fare and waves Alexander onto the boat. Alexander is standing on a path in front of a large gate. The path is surrounded by the chilly river Styx. Charon, the ferryman, is gone. Alexander has the feeling that he's close to his destination, that it must in fact lie on the other side of the gate. The eerie river Styx flows under and around the path to the gate.
And if we do this...
There's no access to the water from this side of the river Styx.
Yeah, we can't get to it. And...
Charon is gone. There is no way back across the river Styx.
this is actually the third point of no return. Although the one thing you need to take in here, you actually have to have before you get in, but you have to get the handkerchief, you have to get the gauntlet, and you have to scoop up the Styx water along the way. If you don't do one of those things, like I said, you're screwed.
Extending from the large wooden gate at the end of the path is closed.
Now let's go in.
Alexander reaches out to open the gate. Suddenly, the wood trembles beneath his fingertips.
What touch has awakened my sleep? I smell the blood of a mortal. Reach out thine hand again, fleshy human, that I might devour it. It has been centuries since I last ate.
Well, this is a good time to save. Oh dear. I guess I'll just have to replace this. Sure, I'll get closer.
Alexander walks too close to the menacing gate.
Tickets out. Next.
It must have been love at first bite.
Okay, but seriously, let's talk to this talking gate.
Despite his fear, Alexander summons his bravest voice to command the living gate.
I would pass, Gate. I have business with your master.
My master and thine, human. I would be pleased to introduce thee. Only step forward and thou shalt meet him shortly.
No, thank you. I come to meet the Lord of the Dead with my flesh still intact.
And why should I let you pass, human, when I would much rather eat you?
I have been told that there is a way for humans to enter Death's realm. There must be something I can do. Some task that will allow me to pass through your doors, Gate.
I seem to recall something. A trick. Perhaps, a test. Ah, yes. Should a human try to pass, a riddle is Gate's wont to ask.
A riddle it is, then.
And if thou wouldst fail to answer Gate, his thirsty jaws will be thy fate.
Agreed.
Listen as though it meant thy life then, human, for it surely does. My first is foremost legally. My second circles outwardly. My third leads all in victory. My fourth twice ends a nominee. My whole is this gate's only key.
My first is foremost legally. My second circles outwardly. My third leads all in victory. My fourth twice ends a nominee. My whole is this gate's only key.
Well, if we don't know the answer, you'll notice that I can't pull up the menu, which is a little inconvenient, but actually not too bad. But if we don't know the answer, just click off of here.
I don't know the answer.
Ah, don't sound so disappointed. I will make it quick. Perhaps. Yum. Tickets out. Next.
Riddle fiddle, what to do? Somewhere sticky, there's a clue.
And this is a clue. So yeah, let's solve that riddle next time. Goodbye.